Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms. I am joined here, as always, with super fans Jake Circus of the Jake Circus podcast and Devin Circus, and this is the Week 18 preview. Yes, Jungle Talk preview. So there we go. Last show, the last preview of the season. Although we were just talking about this. We're going to do a combine or a Senior Bowl show. We're going to do free agency previews. We do draft preview and recap, free agency preview and recap. So make sure you subscribe so you know when we put up the videos throughout the year. Like I said, all we ask is that you support the channel. It's a show by fans for fans. And Jake does some amazing podcasts. Tell them where they can find your podcast, Jake.
Yeah, YouTube, Spotify, Jake Circus podcast. Still on a hiatus. I'm sitting on my bed right now, so can't really I don't have a desk. So we'll be back to normal next week, right in time for NFL playoffs and the meat of college basketball season. Big hoops guy. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter too as well, at Jake Circus. I'll have all my hoops plays and playoffs and all that good stuff. And tweeting about well, let's see. What was it this week? It was Florida State. It was all nonsense. It was Sarkisian stuff, Steve Sarkisian stuff, costing his team the game, crying about Alabama losing. Yeah.
It was
you
what it was.
even got an Oregon tweet back in the other night.
What's that?
I did.
You even got your something, or maybe that was just a text you sent me. Oh, that was the text you sent me. Sorry.
Oh no, I created me and my buddy did a 2023 football hate list. So we made a list of 10 things, football things that we hate.
And what was on your list?
Well, the Oregon reference. Let me pull it up. That's actually pretty funny.
Anything that took place.
I won't read it all.
Game.
Oh yeah. So Bengals fans will like this. Number one on my 2023 football hate list is Mike Florio. Number two is announcers that beg teams to just take the points. Number four was and I quote, the result of the football game that took place in Las Vegas on December 1st, 2023.
Okay.
And you had the one about fan bases falling in love with backup quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah. Number 10 was backup. I called it backup quarterback propaganda believers.
Yeah, that's
Jeremy Lin theory.
That's what drove me nuts is I've been very pleased with Jake Browning and how he's looked because I was very down on him. And I really feel like we have our viable backup. So that checks a box. Not only do we have a viable backup, but he's gotten valuable experience this year. So I feel really good about our backup quarterback. But at no point was I one of these idiots posting on Facebook or Twitter about, geez, when Jake takes us to the Super Bowl, do we just cut Burrow loose? I mean, it was just shut up. That was the one thing when we did lose to Pittsburgh. I said, okay, at least all those posts can stop. We could just stop seeing them. So
like they're an offense with Browning that is like it's the same as pretty much any other team with a backup quarterback. Like he can give you points, but it's very one-dimensional. Like no one is going to go all out, or they're going to go all out in early downs, try to stop the run. They're going to make Browning throw, and that's what we've seen a lot with like there were way too many times in that Chiefs game where it was screen duck to Chase. Like Jamar Chase was looking for the ball a couple times in that game, and he didn't even finish his route because the ball wasn't even close to him.
Right.
It's those downs in the third and long where Spags is going to cook something up regardless of who's playing quarterback, and Browning couldn't handle it. And I don't think anybody really should expect him to be able to do that. That's why, like, every year we're going to go into a season now with like, oh, Browning is our backup, great. But if he's playing, like, there's not much to look forward to. Like you don't have, like, if Burrow gets hurt from like weeks 3 to 6, sure, we can go 2-2 and, save our season from going into a spiral. But if Burrow's like not playing in November and December, the season's over. And it's not just because Burrow is so great. You can say that about, most of the starting quarterbacks in the league, not named Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, and a rookie,
Right.
Throw on top of that, Jake, and it segues perfectly into something that I wanted to talk about today is with Cleveland on the schedule is when you got a backup playing, it's real easy to play from ahead when you're playing an inferior team. But if you fall behind or you're playing against an elite defense, it's a totally different spectrum. And, there's been a lot of the Browns, Bengals back and forth and rivalry on Twitter is, I'll just call it entertaining.
Yeah.
But Browns fans think it's cute that, Bengals are at best 9-8, fourth place, not making the schedule. Well, they've been through 4 quarterbacks, pulled Joe Flacco off the couch, and are locked in at the 6 seed and
They're 5. Browns are 5.
Top wild card.
Yeah, that's right. 5 seed and made the playoffs and have a chance to win 11 games. They got the best defense, top 5 defense in football.
Oh yeah.
And it's, hats off. I mean, kudos to them. This team should have been this good pretty much each of the last 5 years. It came together and they had somebody that did, it's almost going back to the Trent Dilfer game management days.
Right.
You got a great defense. Almost any quarterback could do it, not to take away anything from the Browns. They've done a great job. And here we are.
Yeah.
Flacco's been amazing. Flacco's actually been amazing.
Very
there was
good.
this whole thing 10 years ago. Is Joe Flacco elite? Joe Flacco has been absolutely amazing this year. Joe Flacco's been just as good as Watson was, maybe even a little bit better.
But my point is,
look at what Njoku's They finally figured out Njoku after 20 years. And by the way, this is the second time in the last 20 years the Browns have been better than the Bengals, and the Bengals have not been an elite franchise for 20 consecutive years like Pittsburgh or Green Bay. The Browns literally have had a better record than us, I think, twice in the last 20 years.
One of my favorite things when fans start going back and forth is when you look at AFC North championships in the last 10 years, not even counting the fact that we have 3, maybe even 4 in the last 10 years, but Bengals fans get made up for how bad we were after our 2015 run ended. We were bottom of the barrel, but our division championships span the run before we were that bad, when Andy and AJ made the playoffs for several years as a rookie into the Burrow era. So we've got, what is it? I think you held up 4 fingers, Jake. It's 4.
Yeah. 13, 15, 21, 22.
That's over 2 tenures. And in between that tenure, we were abysmal. And in that 10 years, the Browns have 0. So,
right. No, listen,
the Browns have never won the AFC North.
Right. I forgot about that. Correct.
Yeah. Remember the last time they had a division
also never been to the Super Bowl.
We had Jacksonville was in our division. Okay. We were the Central. Was the last time they won a division. So, but also people forget that Burrow took the Bengals to the Super Bowl with probably one of the most horrific lines to ever play in the Super Bowl, offensive line. Yep. So, when everybody was cooing about Browning, I was like, yeah, but he's having trouble and he's got a better offensive line. It's just wasn't the end all. And then with the Browns, it's overreaction, So I'm okay not making the playoffs. We locked in the 4th place schedule. We have an elite quarterback. So we'll get, what do we say? The Patriots and the Chargers as our fill-in games. We would
Patriots, Panthers, and
Chargers. No, we've had Chargers anyways. Titans.
Yeah. So like I said, it's I'm okay. If we had made the postseason, is there anybody who really thinks this team is going to make a deep run? Once Reeder got hurt, any thought of that was done. So I'm okay with where we are. But with that said, I do very much want to win this game on Sunday.
Absolutely.
1-5. I do not want to go winless in the division. Yeah, I like the fact that we could be a last place team at 9-8. That says a lot for the AFC North. That 9-8 is the bottom of the division.
I think it says a lot about the NFL in general. This was a weird year in the NFL where nothing went right for the Bengals. Burrow played 10 games? 9-10 games?
Maybe 4
was healthy.
Yeah.
Was healthy for 3 about 4 or 5 of them. So nothing went right for the Bengals. Their defense took a huge step back after losing the safeties. Some guys on the line were hurt. Nothing went right for the Bengals. It was not their year. Dana wrote an article after the Chiefs game. They blew a couple leads, lost games that they shouldn't have lost.
Right.
and the quarterback got hurt. And if we win this game, finishing at 9-8, last place in the division, kind of says a lot about the state of the league. And we did that with a first place schedule. 9-8 with a first place schedule when everything goes wrong is not too bad. And look, this has not been necessarily a fun season ever since day 2 of training camp,
Right.
when we thought we wouldn't have Burrow at all, and then he breaks the wrist, and it's just a season in hell. And it seems like it was, I don't know, like the arrow celebration after the first touchdown against
That was
Houston
it.
feels like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only a first place schedule, Jake, and I think you and I talked about this last night. I was looking at draft order, and the tiebreaker is strength. I don't know if it's strength of schedule, strength of opponent schedule, whatever it is. The Bengals number is 0.583, which leads the NFL. The second highest is 0.54. You start to look at some of the tiebreakers, it goes down to like the thousandth of the decimal point. And I saw something today that it'll go down as one of the toughest schedules in the history of the NFL. Now, a lot of that comes from the fact that we were a first place team that finished in 4th. So, obviously we play the 3 teams above, and we played 3 other first place teams that nobody else in our division did. But a lot of that is the luck of the draw with the other divisions you play. And it was, to Jake's point, it's perfectly said. Nothing went right this year. I feel like we're doing the season wrap up right now. Nothing went right this year, and we have a chance to go 9-8 and be 1 game out of a playoff. Maybe even tied for the 7th seed and lose out on tiebreakers. I haven't looked close enough. No, because Indy or Houston are going to win to go up.
And the reason why we had such a tough schedule is look at our division. I mean, 6 games, every team is going to be above 500. If we win on this week, every team is going to be above 500. Well, that was 6 of our games. We had the NFC West, which was one of the tougher divisions in the NFC, and so
champs.
What's
champs?
That?
We're NFC West champs.
We are NFC West champs. Unfortunately, that doesn't help the AFC conference record.
We should
one of our big tiebreakers.
It should give us a top 4 seed in the NFC, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. So, but so we could jump in and preview this game. I mean, listen, we already know Jeff Driscoll starting. They picked him up. They literally picked him up last week, and
they rolled out an old
him to the dog. So, but we know a little bit about Jeff Driscoll. We had the agony of watching.
How about the fact?
What's that?
Yeah, that's right. We were there. How about the fact that that the Browns, first of all, resting a quarterback in the last week of the year, and it's 38-year-old Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
How about the fact that they're starting their 5th different quarterback on Sunday this year?
Yeah.
5.
And the top wild card team.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they really didn't have a shot at the division because the Ravens took command of it early and never looked back. So it wasn't like they barely missed out on the division. So they're the top wild card team. That's hats off to them. I'm not taking anything away from the season they had. So
all I saw in news and reports is Browns are resting starters. Are they resting absolutely everybody?
Well, Cooper.
I mean, they don't have a lot of first string guys that are still healthy.
Right.
I remember when we played them 2 years ago when we had nothing to play for, and we played absolutely zero starters. Right. I'm wondering, are they just sitting Flacco, Cooper?
Well, they're sitting Cooper.
Are they going to sit Ford and Njoku and
Elijah Moore is in concussion protocol.
Elijah Moore still plays in the NFL?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think.
Actually, I take that back. I'm now remembering his injury from last week. That was brutal. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. So, but they have zero incentive to risk anybody, to be honest with you.
Especially as banged up as they've been all year.
This is a week off. You gain absolutely nothing, and you will hear it from your fan base. If Njoku's out there and so much as rolls his ankle or has, the turf monster comes up, you're going to hear like, what the hell was he doing on the field? That's all you're going to hear in the week. Yeah. Going into a postseason that's supposed to be very upbeat. So I can't imagine Stefanski. I would rest everybody. There's, like I said, there's nothing here there's no meat on the bone here.
Right.
None.
Yeah, there's a couple schools of thought for resting. Some coaches historically will rest their starters, and the good coaches who are consistently in a spot that they're able to rest guys in the last week of the year. There's not many of them, but McVay normally leans like rest. Anyways,
He's resting everybody
when
this weekend.
yeah, the Rams are resting everybody. How about that? Oh my God, the Rams almost blew a playoff spot against the Giants the other day. It was
But
crazy.
but I mean, listen, the Ravens have the week off, so they're going to
Yeah,
have giving
I'm
Lamar.
They're
very
not resting everybody. They're just
they're
no, the
resting
Ravens.
protecting
Lamar.
Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar.
So, like I said, it's one of those things, and it's the same thing in 2019. Harbaugh rested a bulk of his starters. They're not going to risk Odell. I mean, there's a lot of guys that aren't.
There were a few Ravens fans were talking about that they believe that the reason they lost to Tennessee in 2019 was because they rested everybody in the last week of the year.
I'm
which
not a fan of. Sorry.
Isn't true because that game was Tennessee forced like 3 turn. Like Baltimore looked sloppy, but it was a lot of like luck turnovers and like field position. Baltimore had like 400 yards of offense in that game. I think clearly outplayed Tennessee. So, but I am to go back to my original point. I was kind of getting off topic, but I'm anti-resting starters, full starters, if you have a bye.
Correct.
Like, I don't think you should rest
Peyton
guys
Manning
if you have a bye.
Peyton Manning would have 2 more Super Bowls if I'm blanking on who the coach was at the time, but they regularly had the 1 seed, sat Manning, Harrison, Edger, and James, and they lost several times in their first game as a 1 seed.
I'll never forget the Vanderjack one where he missed the kick. And you could see, remember, there was all that tension with Vanderjack and Manning through the whole year. And you could see he wouldn't even look at him. He basically just said they read it as he missed the kick. Because it was like, if you're going to shoot your mouth off all year like Vanderjack did, you better deliver in crunch time. And they were the 1 seed, got eliminated. The year they won against the Bears, they were a wild card. They did not have a week off. And they were their wild card or not the division with the bye. Yep. And that's the year they won. I think playing all the way through helps you. I really do.
Yep.
Every time they were one, they didn't even smell the Super Bowl.
You're a wild card team. Your goal is to win 3 straight road playoff games, which has only been done
2
a couple times. It's
Philadelphia.
hard.
Raiders and Bengals. Raiders and Bengals.
Philadelphia did it.
Did the Eagles do it
No.
too?
Philadelphia
3
won
straight.
the Super Bowl as a 6 seed.
Huh?
The Nick Foles
What year?
The Nick Foles
No,
year?
they were like 14-2.
Sorry. No, that's
well,
right.
the Giants did it a couple times.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking
the Bucks did it. Well, technically the Bengals did it, but they didn't win it all. They did win 3 road playoff games. Never mind. No, I'm dumb. I take that back.
The Raiders did it.
Oh, Bengals hosted. We hosted the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right. And the Raiders did it, and they hosted a wild card game. At that point, see, we won a division when we hosted the Raiders. There was a point in time where the Raiders, under Plunkett, they actually had 2 wild card teams, and the top wild card would host the game. So they were the first wild card team to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Anyways, if you have 3, you're about to try to win 3 straight road playoff games. You should rest some guys. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Only been done 4 times. 4 teams have won 3 road games and won the Super Bowl. 85 Patriots, 2007 Giants, 2010 Green Bay Packers.
That's right. And then the Bucks.
No, the Bucks were a 1 seed. 2005 Pittsburgh Steelers.
But you said won the Super Bowl. The 80.
Oh, Tampa.
85,
Tampa hosted.
The 85 Pats lost to the Bears. So
Tampa won the division.
This is just to reach. This is not one the
just
Super Bowl.
To reach, right?
That's
only. As soon as you said the 85 Pats, I knew because the Bears killed them. So that was the.
Oh, that's right. That's the team that lost to the Bears.
Yeah. I was at the playoff game. We lost to the Patriots at the Coliseum, and I'll never forget Plunkett getting intercepted to start the 4th quarter. The clouds rolled in, and I said, "Oh my gosh, we're going to lose to the Patriots." So. But all right, so like I said, Bengals are playing all their starters. The Bengals definitely want to win this game. There's no question. So, I see this. I'm going to go 27-10. We'll give the Browns backups 10 points. I give them a score in each half. You can pick whether it's the field goal or the touchdown first. I'm gonna go 27-10, but I think we win this game comfortably. I think this is, this is a game we want. They don't care. So,
Right.
what do you guys think?
Careful handicapping. Week 18 games. It's a lot like college bowl season, but a lot worse because you really don't know well, you do know motivation, but you don't really know anything else. And one more thing that I will add, I don't have a pick this week because I'm too pissed off by Alabama, but I will say this, that long-term teams in the win and in scenario cover less than 50% of the time. So, but if you're looking at a bet and you say this team needs to win to make the playoffs, so I'm going to take them against the spread, you are making a historically losing bet. I'll just say that.
Really?
Yep.
What about money lining? I mean, you would money line Tampa Bay?
Well, Monday line is different because if you pick, because look, so there's 7 teams this week that are in a win and in situation. I was talking to someone the other day and I asked him what he would set the over under at of teams that win that game, because you're guaranteed to get one with Colts and Texans because they're both in win and in. And then the other teams, I believe there's 7. But I asked him what he thinks the over under is. He said he would set it at a flat 3, with juice to the under of teams that actually win the game. Like, look at the Packers. Packers are only a 3-point home favorite against Chicago. The Jaguars have to go on the road to face a Vrabel team that I think is going to be ready to play spoiler. Same thing with Bucks and Carolina. Nobody wants to take the Carolina Panthers. The Bucks are almost touchdown favorite. That is way too many for a Tampa team that has played terrible defense the last couple of weeks. So yeah, it's a historically losing bet. So be careful when you're filling out your cards. I think I'll only have 2 or 3 bets this week, which is way less than my normal card for a slate. So yeah, just be careful. But 21-17 Bengals.
You got it as a closer game. Okay. Devin, what do you got?
And I do think the Browns beat whichever AFC South team that they face next week.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the Browns beat them.
Yeah.
I am going to go with a very ugly game. I'm going to put a caveat on my prediction. I'm going to go 24-7 if Jerome Ford is not the running back. If he is, I'll go 24-14 because he'll run all over us if he is. He's good.
Right. Why would they risk Ford this week?
He ain't playing.
No.
You don't think so?
There's absolutely no reason.
I think they came out and said that the good players aren't playing.
Yeah.
All I saw was resting.
They said everything they needed to say.
They were doing wholesale. I don't know.
They said everything they needed to say when they went and grabbed Jack Driscoll last week with the sole purpose of playing us this week. That this is the expendable crew member. This is the classic Star Trek red shirt beaming down to the planet below. Gee, Kirk, Bones, Spock, Uhura, and a red shirt beamed to the planet. Who's not coming back? Okay, so that's Driscoll is the red shirt. So there you go.
No, it's funny. It's funny, Jake. You said be careful with your bets. That's great data, and from never would have thought that. It's the exact opposite in my DFS league. I built my lineup already, and all I took was players that are playing in games that need to win because you just
another thing. If you're a prop better and you are looking at player props and you look at player incentives, don't fucking do that. The lines are all inflated. I'm not telling you to blindly take the under. But do you seriously think I'm asking you to I know.
No,
it's
minus 185. I mean, they're definitely.
Do you seriously think that the people who set the lines don't know when a player has a contract incentive?
Right.
Do you it pisses me off every year. If Justin Jefferson needs 110 yards to get a $50,000 contract or a contract incentive for a season or whatever, and his total is 81.5, do you really think that?
I know.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
I agree.
And Odell has about $1.5 million on the line on Sunday. I think it was something like 5 catches for $500,000, 2 touchdowns for 200 for $250,000. and then like 160 yards for 500 grand. So to your point, Jake, there's people that will bet that thinking that, oh, they're just going to pump Odell so that he can get his incentive.
Fuck no, he might not. Is he even going to play?
I don't think he's playing.
One of my favorite clips of all time is Gronk on the sidelines in Tampa Bay. He needed one more reception. He goes up to Tom Brady, and it's an NFL Films clip. He goes up to Tom Brady, Tommy, I need one catch for a millie. And they're like, what? You got a millie coming? Like, dude, one more catch. I got you. I got literally, you find this clip. And then they show Gronk getting it. He goes off the sideline. Brady gives him a big.
I remember this. A millie.
And the big burly defensive lineman, Gronk, puts his arm around him and says, I just got a millie. He's like, you got a millie? It's awesome.
That's great. So no, it's like I said, it's if you have one cat,
I'm gonna find Mark. I'm gonna find the link and I'm gonna put it in the comments because it's a fun lot.
Go ahead and put your score predictions in the comments. Loved seeing what you guys say, and like I said, make sure you subscribe so you know when we put the episodes up. Hit the bell so you get the alerts. We will be doing shows every few weeks throughout the off season. Anytime news pops up, we were on an hour after Orlando Brown was signed. That was big. We were one of the first shows up, so we have no trouble rallying the troops and getting on quick if there's big news. So make sure you subscribe. And I'm kind of like, it's weird. It's been a couple years where we haven't ended, our last preview at the regular season. So usually we'll be talking playoffs. So playoffs
next year.
Yep, playoffs
next year.
Next year. So
we'll be back.
We will definitely be back. So, Jake, remind everybody where they can find your stuff.
Yep. Follow me on Twitter at Jake Circus, college hoop stuff, NFL, making fun of Florida State fans. It's always fun. And then Jake Circus podcast, YouTube and Spotify. We'll be back next week.
If you think that the Florida State needed to be in there, you're kidding yourself. They would have gotten absolutely demolished. They had a great season. It doesn't matter that they were unbeaten. And my only beef is that fourth down call on the at the Alabama was pathetic.
It is extremely eye-opening that a Nick Saban team was gifted that many mistakes by the opposite team and they didn't win at a neutral site. That was very shocking.
Yeah,
very shocking. Had 5 to 6 bad snaps that changed the game. Even their first touchdown was on a bad snap that Milroe made a nice play on.
Yeah. So, crazy weekend. Washington surprised me. Just on tangent before we go, I was really surprised at now I'm kind of at a quandary because Michigan's not this, there's nothing.
Yeah, you're gonna fuck around and do forks up if you keep doing that. You're gonna mess.
I know that's why I was careful. I think this is the Washington W.
Is it? Wait, all right.
No, I think that's forks up.
No,
isn't that Spartan?
Gotcha.
Wait, which is that Spartan? I don't know. But they surprised me. I was very surprised. I think the Washington quarterback played himself up in the draft.
No, that's forks.
There you go.
Imagine Jameis Winston eating the W. That's what that is.
Exactly.
There you go. So, but so it'll be interesting. So we got the national championship next week. Who do you like in that game? Before we go.
Washington by default. Actually, no, I hate both teams because I've lost so much money fading them. So I'm just gonna take the under and congrats to the winner. But I'm done losing money on both teams.
Yeah,
I'm all about the Pac-10 and the Huskies and future Bengal Roma Dunze.
So no, I think Michigan probably rolls. Like they should, but who knows?
Yeah. And Jim Harbaugh's a Charger coach next year?
Yes, sir.
There you go. He's definitely NFL bound. Win or lose this game.
With Derrick Henry.
Thank God. Get him
back.
So no.
Need him out of get him out of that sport. Get him out of that sport.
So we'll see him. I have a feeling we're going to see him as the Charger head coach, but we'll see how that plays out. All right, we have tons of time. We'll be talking about lots of speculation and mental masturbation coming your way with the Combine Senior Bowl. So definitely subscribe and enjoy the game. We should win Sunday against the Browns. And I'm going to say, hoot, everybody. Take care.
Hoot.